So we're in a place over here on in the Shaar Kavanot, in a place that is called Tikkun Hanuktet Silus. That's where we're at right now. Let me see if I can get this a little bit better. All right, sorry about this, but here we go. Actually, where we're at is on number Shefa and the Shefa, number Kaf Dalet. So he says, it goes on the phrase V'acher shetikdonu osach lamata kabbalah mabriya kedizgar nishalim alasis spheres kedizgar as an anu humoilin oso ma'alim osach ba'ela atzilus. Then we have to bring it up into atzilus. So this is Kriat Shema al Hamita. So therefore we need another tikkun. So we have to make it down up above into Olam Atzilus. The Das saw this, so we have a difference of opinion between the Sada and the, here's what you're going to say in a minute. Two different aspects of the Nuk. The Techida Misaktim as Shorasha Nuk Shebebriya. So then we go to Tzilus. But according to the Shem and Salsa, that he says the soda, it's the soda in the Shem and Salsa. It's only talking about the Nukta Tzilus. I don't see, that seems like a contradiction. Either it's in Atzilus or it's in Bria, but he says this is in Bria, this is in Atzilus. He's all talking about Atzilus, but he's talking about the Nuk and Bria. First, you have to fix her in Bria. So now she's already 10 spheres in Bria. So she's already 10 spheres. So if we're only talking about, I guess he means, we're only talking about the Nukta Tzilus, then he says the phrase that he says is at Tzorach Lahavi, the Ma'arsha Nishlaba Kumar Biki Yosef Bepriya. So now she's complete, but she's complete in the other world, in the lower world. Matzark Shuv Lahashlima Acher. So in other words, she's already Shalim. So what you're doing is you actually bring her into Atzilus, but she's complete anyway. He's focusing on the concept of her completeness. Pirush Shem and Salson, the Shem and Salson comes along and he says like this. He says according to DRUSHOT of Kriat Shema, the Bekol Eisha Ana Magdilim as a Malchus, the parts of Shalim. We call Makom La'achar call Aliyah Sha'olah, but what it is, that this is the way he understands it, and I think I understand it better this way. So according to the Sada, once it's complete in Bria, it's complete, and then just has to be moved up, and like it's 10 pieces. Here he says, no, it's not right. He said, B'kol Makom, that is the Shem and Sasan says this, because Makom La'achar call Aliyah Sha'olah Behimis Ma'etis B'chodesh. She becomes small again, back down to a dot. The Behidim Kuda Achas. Atzrichu Tikkun Chodesh, which really needs a new Tikkun. L'hagdil L'asosach of parts of Shalom to grow her up, make her into a complete parts of. So he says, Od, Isasham, also we have over here, now something I wanted to say is that in the Otzvus Chaim it says that the difference between Olam Abriya and Olam Atzilus is enormous. That Olam Abriya is very small. So according to the Sada, that's okay. It's small, but it's complete. So therefore you could bring it all the way up. Just keep it like a tack. According to the Shem and Salsa, though, it goes back to a dot. She'im lo kain, because it's not the case. Lo tuchel la'alos l'tzilus. It has to have the ability to start all over again. So in other words, it has to start again. Volcane, Tzricha L'Kabel L'Aram Mizer Anpen Sheberetzilus. So therefore you have to have, let's read it again, it has to receive ha'ara from zer anpen of Etzilus to be mashpia to the 10th spheros of the Nuk in Bria. By Yedeke, and through this, Nishlam, the parts of Shalom of Bria, becomes a complete and total parts of in Olam HaBria. That's because of the Shefa that it's receiving from zer anpen of Etzilus. So it's like that Zeranpin is really still trying to be mashpia to the Nuk, even though that she's in another world. Because once it comes into Atzilus now, and you bring it up, those 10 spheros, they go back to be one sphera. The parts of Shalom ba'oda ba'atzilus. So therefore, another process has to take place while she's still in Atzilus. While she's just now, Atzilus has to grow again. Same for formula as that Zer Anpin has to be mashpia to her. So the first thing is, he says that this is the way that we always understood that they have a position where when she comes to Atzilus, she's ach ba'ach. So when she comes into Atzilus, so this is the same story that we have in the Nesira. So it's the same kind of story. But Tzrikin L'Hagdil also Shuv, and you have to make her grow again. Then after that, you could go into a situation where we understand how she comes around to the front and is grown, as she grows up to the whole height of Zeran Anpin, and this is the Lashon Yichud. Ad Kan Medivri Rav Sham. So this is what the Rav says over there. But now you understand how the Tikkunim actually are supposed to work. An asakan the hine rochel yardel belaylo ela bria said rochel fell down into bria, but the chile besakti the magdilan as a nuk bihi yosef bebria kadesha tuchul acher kach la'alos l'tzila. So he says that this. I think this is according to the Shemah Sasso, that she has to be able to, that's the first thing that has to happen. Why? What does that do for you? And after that, she can go up into Atzilus. She actually becomes limited down again, to being at the dot again, going through the process of the Sira, it sounds like. And therefore we need a second tikkun. So let's go to number Kaf Hey. I think we could go to number Kaf Hey. We get quite a bunch of little ones here. Kaf Hey goes on to the phrase here, Amar HaKosiv, Habet na urei inyan aliyas hanukva. Let's take a look at that. Baratzilus achar shena, after falling to sleep. Kadirish as Echu Sod Inyan Alolas Abba Ve'ima the Nukva La'ela. So this, let's take these words again. This is the secret of the elevation of Abba Ve'ima to the Nukva of La'ela. Of Abba Ve'ima the Nukva, they go up to the Nukva La'ela. Now the Sakna La Besod HaMochim B'Lagdilo, in order to bring her mochen and to have her grow. That was a little bit difficult to understand. Let's see what he says. Divrei Marchu Kan. Yeah, I got a great cold here. Divrei Marchu Kan. Stumi b'mitzas v'tzrichen beer. So this is a little bit hard to understand the words that he used here. Of the Shemah, Kavanot of the Masha Nizker the Ela, we set up above Sharochel, Hoisabas Dalin Spheros. So that's the idea. The Rochel is only 4 spheros. 4 spheros what? In relationship. This is a little bit hard to hear. This maybe yes, maybe no. He's been saying that through the course of the night, after falling asleep or after waking up, saying Tikkun Tzos and learning all night, if you're able to do that. He says, so Rochel Hoisa about Dalit Spheros, she was only 4 spheros. Why would Rochel only be 4 spheros? Previously, we just said that the words that we use in order to Mipsakin, the Nook of Bria, makes her into 10 spheros. Here he says that Rachel, that's the Nook in Olam Abriya, she really had only 4 spheros. Now, As's parts of Echad, Im Leah, V'gadla, L'shir, Kumas, Kol Zer Adben. And now he says, so this is the part that's I have to think about. He says that she actually becomes 10 spheros. How? As a result of joining together with Leah. V'zecha v'gufa ha'amor kan sherachel mekabelas od vav spheres v'nishla mechashir kol kuma zer anpin, and that's what makes her the whole height of zer anpin. V'yesh lomer od. So I'm not sure. We say we have this thing that her kalim are lent to Rachel, or vice versa. Here we say they're 2 separate entities, and they become one entity. Zephyros nishlamach Shiur called kumazer anpid. V'yesh lomer od, and there are those who say furthermore, v'yu'un b'teres chachman ma shabir b'zeh fidarko. So we don't have that right now. So we'll go on. Let me just blow my nose a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Let's go further. That's how we doing here. 7:42. I'm sorry it took so long. Ha'alas abba ve'ima v'nukva la'ela l'sakna lo b'sod ha'mochim l'hagdilo. So he says that ever up. Now this is what throws me here, Rebez. He says ha'alas abba ve'ima l'nukva la'ela. That's interesting. The nukva is malchus, and abba ve'ima are higher level. So what does he mean? L'sakna lo b'sod ha'mochim l'hagdilo, in order to make her grow. Miardo v'tiva Kavanot, so we explain the tiva Kavanot. Shekavanot deny the abba ve'ima animshachim b'cha be'esa dormita. So this is called the nai of abba ve'ima. They go into Zer Anpin at the time of the dormita, which we know that it's actually, our thinking is that it really is coming from ima, not abba. So he said v'av shalchayre mevur b'kama b'komos shebe'esa dormita niknas rak bo rak. Ha-mochin, the ibach of the abba, that she only gets the mochin on one side. But in any case, there is a chiluf that takes place, and this is a simple way to explain the chiluf. So then, after what happens is, now you got Ima coming into Zer Anpin, but she has portions. The Ima Chamochin, the Bina, Ugvurus Shahoya Benai, the Abba. So there's where aspects of the Bina of the Nook and the Bina of Abba, there's a switch takes place. So that's the Bina and the Gevurus, that's the left side, Shahoya Benai, the Abba, which was in the Benai, the Abba, called the Chilaf before the Chilaf, and they come over at the Chilaf over here. At the time of the Dormita, comes into the Nook. Mochin the Abba ve'imach b'masha omer shema'ala Abba ve'imach b'chas Nook v'mala, who al pihan noided the called parts of keshe nimshachim lo mochim, whom is alach b'madrigal. So this is what he's talking about, them coming up, I guess. He says that when the mochim come in from Abba ve'ima, let's say, as he just explained, he says it causes the Nook to grow. Amnam sarach il, echisaki lover shaha aliyah na'asa achar al-shena, he kinesis a moch in the Nook. So we have to explain that. He said, v'halach of achar al-shena, hu kuvar chatzos alayla, it's already midnight. V'elach kinesis a moch in the Nook, when did the kinesa of the mochin actually come into the Nook? Na'asas be'esa dormita kodem chatzos, that actually already happened. It doesn't happen afterwards, it happens before. So what do you do with that? And that's it. That's what we got today. And I go back and I don't know. This is a little bit, this cold is not a really bad cold that I got here, but, well, I mean, I'm not feverish, but, but it's not going away either. Anyway, thanks for learning with me today. Kotel.